this class on how to draft a basic body block. We're going to be drafting a half-scale basic body block, and what is required for this basic body block is a good measurement, a perfect body measurement. And the measurements I have here is I have the length, my bust, which is 40, my length, my shoulder, which is 15 and a half, my waist is 33 and a half, back waist 15 and a half, the bust span is 8, breast point 10 and a half, upper hip 42. Of course, we may not need this now. This is for full scale, for blouse, full scale. Then half length, this is what we'll be using. Half length, which is 17, and then upper bust 38. We may not also need this now. Okay, we'll dive into work now. For me to be able to do that, first thing I want to do is to bring out the block, and I'm going to look at my measurement. I'll use my bust measurement for the width, and then I'll use my half length measurement for the length. And my half length there is 17. Then the bust is 40. I'm going to divide this 40 by 2, which is 20, and add 2 inches to get the width. So everything is going to be 22. So let me do that. I'm going to create a border line here, 1 inch away from the tip, 1 inch away from the tip. This line, I'm going to take this line to be my center. Let me mark it center line. And then I'm going to take the width. Remember I said the width is 20 and 22 because my bust measurement is 40 divided by 2. Divided by 2 is going to give me 20. Then I'll add 2 inches for working allowance. 2 inches. So I'm going to mark it right away. I'm going to mark 22 right here. I'm going to mark 22 right there. Sorry, my camera is not capturing everything, but I'm going to make sure that I capture it. Have it there. Okay, so I'm going to also mark my 17 here for the back side. Bring out the block. I'm going to do the same thing there. Okay, so mates, and half of that 22 is going to be for the front part, and the other half is going to be for the back part. So I'm just going to measure. I'm just going to do that measurement here for the half part. 22 divided by 2, which is 11. Mark my 11 there. I'll do the same thing here. 11 here. So just mark it, just draw the line to meet that point. I don't know if you can see. Okay. Then I'm going to mark this point also. Okay, so next for the back, the other part of the back, this is it. Remember that my back length for my back is 15 and a half. So the front is 17 and the back is 15 and a half. So I'm going to mark 15 and a half right here. I'm going to mark 15 and a half right here. Make sure you take accurate measurements. So I'm going to draw the line to join it smoothly. There, that is it. This is the back side now, and this is the front. I have my length and then my width. Okay, Hope you are getting it. Now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to bring out my neck. I'm going to bring out my neck for the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this edge. I'm going to mark 3 inches. That is the standard. 3 inches width and 3 inches depth. That is the standard. Then I'm going to pick my curve. I'm going to be using my curve for this. Place your curve like so. I want to make sure that we are seeing it like so. Can you see it? Then I'll join the points. This is it. Very beautiful line there. Then sew-mates, the next thing I want to do is I want to take my under bust measurement. Remember, this last line is the half length. Let me label it so you can see it clearly. Half length. And then this is the under bust. Okay, let me take that measurement for the under bust. Sew-mates, I'm taking the under bust measurement now. I have a 14.5 there. Remember, I'm taking my measurements in 2 places to have accurate measurements and accurate lines. So I'm just going to mark out this line here and label it under bust line. Then the next line there is my breast point. That's the bust line. My bust line, that's my breast point, is 10.5. 10.5. I'm going to mark it right there. 10.5 here. 2 places. 10.5. I'm going to roll the line also. And this is where my dart line will be. This is where my dart line will be. Next thing I want to do, sew-mates, is to measure the chest line. And to get the chest line measurement is your bust divided by 6 plus 1 inch and plus another 1.5 inch for the shoulder. So I'm going to, let me write it somewhere so you can see it. That's a chest line. Is a bust plus bust divided by 6 rather, plus 1 plus 1 plus 1.5. And my bust is 40 divided by 6 plus 1 plus 1.5. And I have 9.2 here is what I have. So I'm going to mark out the 9.2 here right away. Is here. Okay, that is that. Then the next thing I want to do is to mark out my shoulder. My shoulder is 15.5, so I'm going to divide 15.5 by 2. I'm going to have 7.75. 7.75. I'm going to mark it right there. 7.75 is here. I'm going to do the same on the chest line. You can also call it the upper bust line also. So I'm going to mark the same thing here. That's 7.75. This time around, I'm going to have broken line. This line is not the line I'm going to be. That is not the final line. So I'm going to use this pen. I'm going to mark a broken line there. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to measure my shoulder, 1.5 for the front. And then I'll rule from this neckline to that point. That's it. Now you look at this sharp edge here. We are going to take away ½ inch to remove this sharp edge. If you notice, when you sew, the neck, that neck joining there, is going to be bulging out. We are going to make that correction right here now, so that you have a flat and a smooth neckline. So you're going to remove that ½ inch, and then you join the line. Okay, this is what we are going to have. Then you come to the chest line. You measure 3 inches from here upwards. Mark it. Then from that 3 inches, carefully, you're going to mark 0.75 inward. This is going to help reduce excesses on that armhole side. By the time you finish making your garment, it will reduce a lot of excesses from there. So you take that line there. Then you're going to measure your bust from in that bust line. Measure your breast, your bust. The bust there is 10, and then I'll take my curve. I'll place it there to give me accurate curve. Okay, here we go. Have that curve there. This is the curve for the armhole. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is to insert my dart. I'm going to be inserting my dart right away. My bust span is what I'm going to use, and my bust span is 8. I'm mark 8 right now, right here on the bust line. This is my bust line. So I'm going to do that here, and then I'm going to take that 4 on the half length, and then join the points. Okay, I'm also going to measure 0.75 this way and 0.75 this way again to give me my dart line. Can we see? Then this is the basic body block. Then what I want to do next is I want to take away the side bust dart. Right now, what I will do is I'm going to take what is left from the back. You remember that the back depth that's for the waist is 15 and a half, and the front is 17, is not equal. So what is left here, I'm going to use it to do the side dart, bust dart here. So what I'm going to do is measure it. What is left is 1.5. So I'm going to bring it to the bust line. I'll mark that 1.5. First of all, let me mark my bust. My bust is 10. Remember, it's 10. I'll mark 10 there. Then I'll come there and then mark that 1.5. Half of 1.5 is 0.75. So I'm going to mark it also right there. Then I'm going to mark half inch outward. Remember, we added working allowance here, so this is where it comes into play. So I'll mark half inch outward. Then I'm going to connect the line. I'm just going to connect the line to my breast point there, and then connect this one too. Okay, right there. Then I'm going to join the bust. This is my bust. I'm going to bring it down to this middle point here of this line. Then the next thing I want to do soon is to measure my under bust. My under bust is 33 and a half. And 33 and a half divided by waist, that's for the half length rather, is divided by 8 is 8 points. Divided by 4, sorry, is 8.375. So what I'm going to do is I'll place my tape from this point, and then carefully from this first that leg here, I'm going to just carry it carefully, transfer it to this point, watch carefully, then I'm going to mark out my waist, which is 8.375. Okay, and I'm just going to join that line up there. Okay, this is it for the front part. So I'm going to be drawing the next one, which is the back. For the back bodice, is just simple. It's not going to take much. What I'm going to do is I'll measure the neck. Remember, we said the neck width for the front is 3 by 3, but for the back is 3 by 1. 3 for the width and 1 for the depth. With this, you can make a very, very accurate neck, bishop neck, any kind of neck you want. You can practice from here. Then I'm going to use this part of my curve to do the neck for the back. So you can see it. Let me take it again so you can see it clearly. 3 inches this way, and then 1 inch this way. So I'll just mark it to join the points. See there. Then the next thing I want to do is I would like to measure my shoulder. The shoulder is, remember, my shoulder is 15 and a half divided by 2 gives me 7.75. We're just going to mark it right there. Then I'll do the same thing for the breast, for the chest line. The chest line, I have to draw the chest line. Remember that the chest line for the back is, for the front, is going to be extended to the back. So I have 9.2. I'll just extend the line. Also, the breast point, that's where my dart is going to stop. I'm going to have that line there, which is 10.5. Just going to mark it there, and then extend the line also on the front side. Okay, then this is the half length for the back. So this is my shoulder here, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, which is 7.75. I'm going to join the line. Remember, I use broken line here because that's not the final line. So I'm just going to use broken lines to differentiate it. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is to measure 1 inch downward from here, and then join it to the neck. Remember, for that of the front is 1.5 for 2, but this one is 1 inch for the back, and then we're going to remove 0.25 for excesses. Pattern drafting is so sweet. It's only in pattern drafting you can make corrections while drafting, so that when your garment is done, you know you're not making any other correction. And some correction cannot be done when the dress is already made. So if you make a mistake while sewing, you have made final mistake that may not be corrected. So from this point 1 inch down, I'm just going to fold my tip like this, and then mark it there. And then take ½ inch from that line. We're using the broken line there, ½ inch. For the front, we took 0.75 to remove excesses from the shoulder. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. Just draw the line there, and then I'll just use this one. I'll take my bust measurement, which is 10. I'll measure it here. This is what I have. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the dart for the back. I'm going to use 4, which is my bust span. Same thing. Then I'm going to join. This time around, I'm going to be taking out ½ inch from each side. Remember that for the front, we took 0.75 to bring out good fitting there. So that's it. Then if you notice, for the back where the zip line is, we usually take out ½ inch to avoid bulginess. After sewing, putting your zip, you discover that the zip is bulging out. To avoid that, you just come to the back line, the line, and mark ½ inch. Then join it to the neck up there. Good. So the next thing I would like to do now is to measure the bust line. This is 10. Then I'll measure the waist. The waist measurement is 33.5 divided by 8, which gives me divided by 4, which gives me 8.35 plus 1 inch. Remember, we added ½ inch on both sides in this dart line, so we are going to add that 1 inch. So it's going to give us the measurement. Okay, sorry. Yes, it's correct. We are adding it here. Okay. So I'm going to join the line right away. Okay, measure from here. So I'm just going to add the dart allowance here. So this is what I have for the back. So that's it. This is it. So this is the basic body block This is how it looks. This is how it looks. So cute. This is it. So if you have any question, just begin to ask your question. I'm here to answer all your questions. Whatever question you have concerning this, you begin to ask.